Veterans and Human Services Committee to order at 6 o'clock. We have a couple people coming in. Carrie, would you like to come up first? She's for Human Rights.
Yep, applying for the Council on Human Rights. My name's Kari Gray.
And if you, gives you an address as well, and then if you want to read your questionnaires,
Yep.
And then if anybody has any questions, they'll ask you.
Okay. I live on 24 Briarwood Drive, Unit 6 in Attleboro, and I'm applying for the Council on Human Rights, and what I think would make me a good candidate for the council is a few different things. I consider myself a good active listener. I care deeply what everyone has to say and think. I don't think one way is always the right way. I think to make a bigger impact, we need to be working together. I'm always looking to problem solve and figure out an effective solution. I'm very creative. I enjoy helping plan and organize events, meetings, or anything the council will need to help with. I also was lucky enough to grow up in a very diverse community and grew up with humans from all walks of life. Now that we've moved here to Attleboro, I want to take this opportunity to help others in our new home. And then I'm interested in this position because me and my family love the city and there's so many wonderful people that live here. I want my family to be a safe space and a helpful sounding ground for anyone that needs us. I want to show my daughter that we can be a huge part in making a difference, and I want to show her how important it is to be an active supporting member of the community. I'm passionate for all human rights. No one deserves to feel unsupported and unwelcomed. We need to be there for each other instead of judging one another. We should want to make sure everyone feels safe and supported. Everyone has the right to be heard. I want to help the council in making sure our community members are feeling like they are heard, and we are here to help try our best. I want the council to know that me and my family want Attleboro to be our forever home, and we as a family want to be active in our community. We are here for all. I want the council to know I'm ready to put in the hard work however and wherever I can. I want to show the council and Mayor Kathleen how important this means to be a part of this fabulous group of caring and kind people, and would truly be honored to walk in the same footsteps as all of them. And that's all I have.
Well, I can tell you just by the conversations that we've had, discussions, you come across as a bright, cheery, happy person.
Thank you.
And I think this is going to be a really good spot for you, and
Thank you.
And hopefully you'll be able to help make a difference.
I hope so.
Yeah, and I think they have a good group over there, and
Yeah.
And we've had some good people that weren't able to continue, and hopefully can fill right in and help out.
Thank you.
Any, Council Waterman, Council Dolan?
First of all, I want to thank you for your volunteering to do this. That's how I began with the city.
Yeah.
For a year or two, and I enjoyed it very much. Was there any specific reason that kind of triggered you at this point in time to go for this?
Well, I wanted to find a way to join the community more and help out more, and my sister-in-law, who's part of the community, was like, oh, we need people, this would be a great group for you to get in, and I wanted to start there. So
Well, it's a great place
yeah.
to begin, so thank you very much.
Thanks.
Councilor Dolan?
Thanks. You sound perfect
Thank you.
for this board, and I really appreciate you volunteering
Thank you.
being able to serve.
Thank you.
I think you'll make an excellent fit.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thanks.
Council Blair? I mean, you always have questions, and I appreciate your
It's
feedback.
tough to come up with a question after that young lady spoke.
Yeah, I know.
You can do it,
Thanks.
Peter.
I've got nothing for admiration for it, and that goes a long way on this council. When I say I have no
Thank
good
you.
things to say. You present yourself well, and
Thank you.
I can see in your face and the way you talk, you have a passion for this, and that's what you need, is a passion on that committee,
Yeah.
and I can see you have it. So
Thank you.
you have my vote and you have my good luck.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that too.
Any others? All right, well, good. Well, thank you,
Thank
Carrie,
you.
for coming down, and it's been great chatting with you
Uh-huh.
over the last few months, and I look forward to seeing you some more.
Thank you so much, everyone.
So,
Have a great
just so you know, what'll happen is you'll get a letter I think a letter in the mail, maybe an email, I'm not 100% positive.
Okay.
And then you'll come on down and you'll get sworn in,
Okay.
you know, when you can and stuff. And former counselor and clerk, Kate Jackson, will take care of that.
Okay, awesome.
All right, great, thank you,
everyone.
appreciate
Have a
it.
good night.
It's my distinct pleasure to welcome Leo Johnson. Thank you.
Told you I wouldn't
Good evening.
embarrass you.
Yeah, you did. You sure did. Hi, my name's Leo Johnson. I live in 45 Phillips Street in Attleboro, and I had requested to be appointed a constable. And so Mike gave me 4 questions, so I guess I'll just look at the questions and answer them. Is that
That's
all right?
completely fine, however you like to do it.
Yeah. So I was employed as a deputy sheriff for 20 years, Bristol County Sheriff's Office. So I have a lot of knowledge and experience in the field of, what constables do on an everyday basis. And I was also an auxiliary police officer, special police officer in the city of Attleboro here for about the same amount of time. And so I have, a little bit of a law enforcement background and also background as far as constable work goes. And why would I be interested in this position? I'd just like to continue doing what I was doing for the sheriff's office. I enjoy that type of work, and I think it's a great way to, continue to serve the residents of Attleboro. What's one issue in front of this committee that you're passionate about? I'm passionate about a lot of different issues in the city. I've been involved in a lot of different committees and commissions over the years. I've been on the Recreation Commission for 25 years. I've served on the Open Space and Recreation Committee. I was on the Highland Future Use Committee. So there's been a lot of different things I've been involved in over the years, and it's just a way of giving back, I guess, to the city. And last question was, would you like the city to know about you? Well, as I just said, I've served the city in a lot of different capacities over the years, and I just want Attleboro to be a better place to live and raise your family, and I hope that I can contribute to the continued success of the city.
Well, I appreciate you coming, Leo. I mean, I've known you for a long time, and I know others have known you even longer than I have, and there's not a lot of people that impress me as much as you have over the years for everything that you've done for the city, for youth sports. I mean, you've been there, you've done so much, you never complain, you're always willing to help out. I mean, the events, you're there. I mean, I can't say enough. And I'm like extremely happy that you're back.
Well, I complain plenty, believe me. You just
I'm very
appreciate
happy.
your kind words.
And I appreciate it. And Council Blair?
I don't know where to start, Leo. I really don't. Leo and I have been, I first knew Leo maybe 25 years ago or so,
Yeah.
when we first got together. He is a man of the most integrity that I've ever met. We've become close friends. Of course, that's going to taint my vote, but I would never vote against this man. He's always been there when I asked him for help. I've worked with Leo on the East Side Picnic for the kids for 20 years now. He's the first one there, last one to leave. Last couple of years, I've been in tough shape. And he won't let me do anything. I get pissed off at him. I really do. But he's always been there for me. He's always been there for this city, every which way. Special police officer. We have a building named in his honor, which most people don't get when they're alive,
That's right.
right? He's put his heart and soul into Attleboro Youth Sports, the Recreation Center. Him and Dennis have made the greatest team going, and you see the fields and stuff around. He's a big part of that, a real big part of that. So we're fortunate that he wants to continue serving. He wasn't well treated by our ex-mayor, believe me. You didn't hear him moaning and groaning and bitching, but he wants to do this job to carry on a career he started, and he deserves it tremendously. So we've been fortunate with our last appointment to that position, and Leo's will be a great added to it, I'm sure. They get along well, they'll work well together, I'm sure. And before I start crying, he's one of the greatest guys I ever met.
Oh, my God.
And to not do this for him would be an absolute crime, because he's done so much for this city in so many ways and not look for recognition. I know it because I've been there. I've seen it personally. Leo, thank you very much for all that you've done. And I hope this appointment gives you some satisfaction.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it.
I try not to.
Right back at you. Thank you.
Try not to embarrass you.
Council Waterman?
Well, I can't match that,
Thank you.
but you're welcome. However, in the time that I have known you, I know you to be a man of high integrity, and I know when you say that you're going to do a job, you're going to do a job. And so I'm totally supportive of you.
Thank you so much. I
welcome.
appreciate it.
Any other? Council Bennett?
No questions. I just wanted to make a quick comment, if I could. I haven't met you yet.
Yes.
I've heard good things, and I just wanted to say thank you for all the service you've given the city. I think the city's very lucky to have you in this role.
Well, thank you all for all the service you give to the city. It's so very important, and I'm a little humbled and embarrassed, to be honest with you.
Well, it's all deserved, and obviously kudos to Mayor DeSimone for, taking care of this and doing what is right, and so that goes a long way in my book, and
I echo those.
yeah.
Although I pestered her enough, but I echo that.
I think it was a great move. So we're happy to have you back, and looking forward to seeing you some more.
Thank you very much.
All
Appreciate
right.
it. Thank you all.
Thanks, Leo. Appreciate it. Okay, all right. I guess I can go into the committee meetings, so I'll do mine, and then, all right. Okay. From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I entertain a motion to approve the appointment of Leo Johnson, 45 Phillips Street, as constable to fill an expired term to expire February 2024.
Second.
Thank you, sir. Obviously, we just heard about Leo. Great admiration. I think we've said what needs to be said. I mean, we're very lucky. And any other questions, comments? I'm not even going to ask about concerns because there shouldn't be any. But all right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. All right. From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I entertain a motion to approve the following changes to the personnel rules and regulations for exempt employees. Article 16, uniform and clothing allowance, Section 2, add assistant recreation director. Add to payment eligibility if an employee is in a position that is included on the list and then is promoted to another position on this list. The allowance should be made upon approval of the change. Article 22. I apologize if I'm messing up these Roman numerals. I meant to look at them over again. It's been a while. But, all right, Section 1, each outreach worker case manager that possesses a licensed certified social worker LCSW certification shall be paid an annual stipend of $2,500 in addition to the regular compensation. New employees will not be eligible for this payment until completion of 1 year service. So basically,
Well, you need a second.
oh, I'm sorry. Second?
I need a second.
All right, Councilor Waterman, thank you. Thank you. Okay, all right, so basically, what we got here is, from Dennis, basically it's the, sorry, I'm looking for my notes here. There, oh, where's my email? Sorry, I had it a second ago. Here it is, sorry. Okay. Since it was a promotion, it was a request payment be made upon approval of the change by the municipal council, not after the completion of 1 year service. So that was the change there, and that's coming from Dennis. This position replaced the position of Recreation Program Coordinator in the Recreation Department. Yeah, that's the Assistant Recreation Direction. Okay, and then also for the outreach worker, that is to help promote and to keep people engaged and to be able to have them. Let's see. All right, sorry, my apologies. But we are trying from Personnel Director Lynn. We are trying to encourage people to obtain and maintain licenses to have a better educated workforce to serve the residents, which is why they requested the stipend. Any questions?
I have a comment.
All right. Okay.
Does Councilor Holmes want to go first? Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Thank you. So there's two different things. So it's
Yes.
okay. So there's a clothing allowance, but that's for the recreation department, and then the outreach worker. It doesn't really say. That's for educational.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I know it was confusing me a little bit too, but I should have known better because I researched this out and everything. But yeah, it is two different ones.
Okay. Thank you.
Council Waterman?
Yeah, I was really delighted to see the Section 3 for the outreach worker. We've been, many times our outreach workers come to us at the senior center and they don't have this, they're beginning in their career. And they may or may not have any education beyond a bachelor's degree. And oftentimes they start to earn that while they're in that position. And I think this is part of what you would earn. And I believe $2,500 is totally fair.
Sure.
as an increase if they've received that accreditation.
Yep, I agree. Any other? No. Okay. All right, Council Bennett.
Thank you. I was just curious if we could drill down on that a little bit. Is this on a reimbursable basis after they've taken some courses, or how does that stipend work? Is it automatically paid to them regardless of whether they're enrolled in training or further education?
Let's see. What did she give me? Trying to see if I have any other notes from her on this. Okay. I have another one.
My assumption is that they'd have to achieve that licensed certified social worker status prior to applying for the stipend. I just wanted to confirm.
Yeah, I think you were actually right, but I'm just trying to see if I could find where she details that. I know I had something on it.
And it looks like it's an annual
Just
stipend.
actually, well, all I really got from her was we're trying to encourage people to obtain and maintain license to have a better educated workforce to serve the residents, which is why we have requested the stipend. So if you like, I can get answers to that and we
Yeah,
can
I'd
put
love
this
to
off.
know how it works. It sounds like it's an annual payment, so I'd be curious. It's not just a one-time thing reimbursing them for the education, but it must cover what those annual fees are to maintain their certification.
Yeah,
or
well, it's
courses they
definitely,
need.
it is an annual stipend. It's annual.
Okay.
It definitely is. So it would be each year. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Does that answer that, or do you need me to get more clarification on
I
that?
think it would be helpful to have
Yeah.
a little more clarification,
Okay.
if possible, just to make sure that we understand how this is, I guess, what it's contingent on, and what the outreach workers need to do to be eligible for it.
Okay. Any question? Yeah.
And I think this should be more than a one-time thing. We shouldn't have to look at this every year.
This would be annual, so this would be it, and it would be each year.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's coming in front of the council to grant it. What happens next year?
Well, it says annual, so it is listed as being annual.
This would
So-
update the regulations.
So,
Excuse me, Kelly?
It would update the personnel rules and regulations, it looks like.
Yes.
And so it would be automatic.
Automatic.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
this-
wanted to make
right.
sure that was
Yeah.
in there. I gotta get my ears because I can't hear very well.
no problem, no problem. Okay, I'll get that answered for you.
One other thing.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Councilor Waterman.
That's fine. So as I read this, it also means even if you had the LCSW license when you're first hired, you still have to put in a year before you can.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So just want to clarify that.
yeah. And we'll ask if there's anything else that triggers this on what is contingent on, what do they have to accomplish or achieve to get that stipend.
And the reason one reason I think for putting in that year is we've had certain social workers have had fast turnover. And that creates instability in the program.
Yeah, okay. All right, from the docket of August 15, 2023, I entertain a motion to approve the appointment of Chris Riley of Parsons Way to the Liquor Licensing Board, term to expire 2029.
Second.
Did you take a vote on the last one?
Oh, no, we
No,
didn't.
we didn't because we're going to get more information.
If you had that just for the full council vote, I think it'd be helpful.
Oh, okay, all right,
I
all
don't
right, so we'll vote
I
on
don't
that
want to hold that
then?
up, I'm just.
Okay, all right, so we'll go back to that. All right, okay.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 3-0, and I will get answers for the full council vote. All right, from the docket of August 15, 2023, I entertain a motion to approve the appointment of Chris Riley, Parsons Way, to the Liquor Licensing Board, term to expire 2029.
Second.
Thank you. Chris came up, I think he's very qualified and spoke very well, and it's going to be a great addition to the licensing board. Any questions, comments, concerns?
No, I,
All those in favor?
Aye.
aye.
All right, motion passes 3-0. Okay. Entertain a motion to transfer $1,678 from account 112410000-578300, citywide reserve fund for transfer to account 154310000-514050, veterans prior year salaries.
Second.
Second. Thank you, sir. Just, I think it's kind of self-explanatory. Any questions, comments, concerns? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. I got one more. I entertain a motion to approve the appointment of Carrie Gray of Briarwood Drive to the Council on Human Rights, term to expire February 2025.
Second.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Councilor Blair. We just heard from Carrie. I think she's great. She's going to be a wonderful addition. Any questions, comments, concerns?
No, excellent.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. That's all for Personnel, Veterans, and Human Services Committee. I call for adjournment at 6:23.
Second.
Thank you, sir. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned at 6:23.
I'd like to call the Public Works Committee to order at 6:24. We do have...
Laurie, can just give me a second, grab my ears.
Sure.
Did I already add his name?
I'm second, because I have a guest.
Oh, sorry.
I'm live.
You good?
Thank you. Go
Can you hear
ahead.
me? Test, test. Hello?
Gotcha.
Smiling.
Don't do that to me.
So like I said, I have a guest. I have Attorney Casey here with us tonight. This is regarding the land to finish the sidewalk on Reed Street. and I'd like to read the motions after Mr. Casey speaks, so he can just clarify, because it's two motions, we have to rescind a vote we took, and he's just here to explain, like, there were some minor changes. We already allocated this, we already voted the money hasn't changed. So Attorney Casey is just going to clarify, why we're here and what we're doing a little bit.
Councilor Dolan, good evening, members of the council. Edward Casey, I'm a lawyer with an office on Bank Street, Coogan Smith. And Councilor Dolan is correct. I became involved in this matter almost a year ago, working with Hank and Sharon Perry, who live at 536 Reed Street. And as a result of conversations with Mike Tyler, the then mayor, and the Perrys, there was an agreement that they would provide an easement so that the city could construct a sidewalk. So the amount of money that was agreed upon was $5,000. And then, despite the promises that had been made by the Perry's mortgage originator, that the lender, the party, the bank that holds the mortgage, would agree to subordinate its mortgage to the grant of the easement. Despite that promise, the bank said no. And so that then put us in this position where, in order to make certain that the city of Attleboro obtains good title to this easement, we have to pursue this friendly taking. This is a matter that I've discussed at some length with Solicitor Peter Mello, and the Perrys understand the situation. They're completely agreeable with continuing that original price. The size of the easement is a little bit larger, so I would ask that you adopt this revised vote and then take by eminent domain. Is that clear enough? Or?
I think, to me, that's clear, and I'd like to emphasize that it's a friendly taking, because, I know you worked with Mayor DeSimone, Peter Mello, everybody's in agreement, so, and we did already allocate the money, but as Attorney Casey said, there have been some small changes, so I just want to make it clear that although the word taking is there, that everybody's satisfied in the agreement.
Yes,
Would that be fair to say?
it would be fair.
Does Councilor Holmes?
This doesn't make me happy. This wasn't handled correctly. It seems like it was kind of a nightmare. But I guess it's resolving itself, and we have no other choice but to kind of continue to move forward. But it just kind of seems a little bit fragmented, and it's disappointing that kind of the last administration, I don't know what happened here, but just hoping that it can be concluded and we can have a sidewalk over there.
Yeah, I agree to a point. There was some changes on, the other end, as you said, with the bank, the mortgage company, that kind of threw a wrench into it. So I think we're clear now. You feel good about it, and I think the mayor and Peter Mello and everybody's in agreement, so I understand your concern.
And Mr. Perry is here if you have any questions to confirm that this is completely to his satisfaction.
Hi, just one question. So you'd mentioned that we may need to rescind a different vote. I just wanted to check, is the $5,000 that was previously voted as a part of that, and do we then need to revote that funding, or are they separate votes?
I believe it was all one vote, and the money has not changed, the dollar amount, and the money has not been paid either, in case anybody was wondering that as well.
So for a new motion, do we need to revote the 5,000? If the previous vote is rescinded and the money is tied to that vote, I just want to make sure procedurally that we still have those funds allocated and we don't accidentally rescind the funding that's attached.
Well, I would have to look at the last vote, that I don't have a copy of the last vote, but the money has been allocated, but it has not been paid. So we did vote for the $5,000 because that was in Councilor Holmes' committee at the time, and then this new one was put into mine. So from my understanding, the $5,000 is allocated, not paid.
And the vote won't impact, the rescinding of that vote won't impact?
I don't believe so. It's been looked at by Attorney Casey and Peter Mello. So
I would just want to, I would
I
want to be sure.
No, I understand your concern,
I
but
don't want to leave them high and dry, and we had to,
I believe Solicitor
Okay.
Mello did look at the language, so they'll certainly let us know if we need to fix this in any way.
Sure.
So, Councilor Dolan, if I may, Councilor Bennett's point is a very good one. I did not focus on that language with respect to the issue of the money.
Sure.
So in any way in which that issue can be clarified in this motion that is to be considered by the council, even if to a degree it might be perceived as redundant, I like redundant over gaps.
Right, maybe I can ask the admin to maybe see the last vote, so we can maybe add that $5,000 language in here.
Yeah, so what I would suggest, Council Dolan, is don't vote this out tonight. We have committee again next week. We can vote it out then. I just want to, as Mr. Casey said, we need to make sure we have the ducks in a row before we vote this out. So it's great to have Mr. Casey, Mr. Perry here for questions on the actual physical motion here, but I think in due diligence, we take some time offline and we figure out, even run it by Peter Mello, just to make sure, because I'd hate to be in a situation where we should have rescinded that vote and then added it to this. So I think we just get our ducks in a row and we come back next week. with
And you
all
said
the
we're having a
answers.
committee next week?
Yep.
Okay. All right, yeah, we can do that. So I'm gonna hold these. So does anybody have any other questions for, Council Blair?
Mr. Casey, as attorney for this gentleman, are you satisfied the way this would be handled for your client?
The concept is satisfactory to me. The details, I think, ought to be looked at, and while Mr. Perry is anxious to get this concluded,
I don't blame him.
we want to make sure that it's done right. So the idea of waiting a week seems to me to be a small inconvenience.
It's been over a year, so another week's not gonna add to it. Not being sarcastic, but it's just, I want it over.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
so
blame you,
ridiculous.
Mr. Perry. I just want to make sure,
Yep, I
as a
agree.
resident, that you're satisfied. You've been more than helpful in giving that property up. I understand that it somewhat affects the value of that piece of property. You should be compensated accordingly, and I don't want to see it followed up either.
Of course. Yeah, we
All
can
right.
absolutely take care of that, and we'll handle it all next week.
Thank you.
And does anybody else have any further questions for Attorney Casey? So we'll be good next week? Because Attorney Casey won't be back. I won't ask you to come back again. I appreciate you coming very much, and thank you.
Thank
We'll
you.
take care of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna hold those. Moving on, from the docket of September 5th, 2023, I entertain a motion to transfer $25.45 from account 6000-578300 wastewater enterprise fund reserve fund for transfer to account 6000-578020 wastewater enterprise fund previous year's bills for a higher than expected water bill.
Second.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I entertain a motion to transfer $94.95 from account 165-01000-519130 park allowance licenses to account 165-01000-514060 park prior license for an employee reimbursement.
Second.
So this is for a hoisting license for an employee. Does anybody else have any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I entertain a motion to transfer $92.50 from account 112410000-578300 citywide reserve fund for transfer to account 14201-000-578020 public works previous year's bills to reimburse an employee.
Second.
This is for a reimbursement for a CDL license. Does anybody have any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I entertain a motion to authorize the payment of the following previous year's invoices for park and forestry as there is sufficient funding in Fund 2607. One invoice in the amount of $49.74 to Apple Photo Booth, Inc., 2 invoices in the amount of $340 each to Bamboo Bob LLC, and 2 invoices in the amounts of $38.16 and $9.99 to WB Mason.
Second.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions on these? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I entertain a motion to transfer $1,800 from account 11241-000-578300, Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account 12921-000-524230, Animal Control Maintenance of Vehicles to repair a 2007 Ford F-150.
Second.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
Laura, was there any detail on the
Yeah.
repairs?
It's the bearing. If you give me one quick second, I'll find it. Yeah, it's the front wheel bearing and hub assembly,
And what was the total price?
$1,800.
Wow.
Front wheel bearing and hub assembly for the F-150, which is AC2. It's been taken off the road as a safety precaution to prevent any further damage. And that's the information I have.
I think it was already, the work was already done, I think, because I thought I saw that truck there for repairs.
Where?
Oh,
At,
it might, well, it's been taken off the
Connors
road.
Square.
I don't know if they've done the repairs, if they don't have,
I know I
we haven't
remember seeing
authorized
it
the
there,
money.
unless that was the estimate first, but I remember seeing it there to be worked on
Where?
at County Square Auto, George. It's a George, right? Yeah.
I hope they're not repairing it before they get an
Friday.
okay from this council, because some of these repair bills, I was in the business, and I know things have escalated. But that completely
Right.
knocks my socks off.
It might be there because they did take it off the road, so it might be there waiting to be repaired.
Or I could have seen it for a different repair. I don't know. I remember seeing it there. Or maybe it was just an estimate. It could have been an estimate.
Yeah, I can't answer that.
Between the 2 repairs, there's an awful lot of me money to be putting into that one truck. Not the one that
they
had
do
the
need the
AC
second.
done?
They do need the second vehicle. I don't know the answer to that if this is the one with the AC.
I'd like you to find out before you bring it out for a vote tonight. Please.
You want to know if this is the one where the AC was repaired?
Yeah. Is that... I know I sound like a pain in the butt, but these prices sometimes just don't jive with me. I know I've been out of the business for a while, but I'm still pretty aware of what goes on and how the prices work, so...
Okay, so you want me to...
I'm not comfortable voting on it tonight, let's put it that way. You can do what you want.
All right, so the only question you have is if this is the one that with the AC was repaired.
Yeah, and I'd like to see a copy of the estimate.
All right, I probably have the backup in here. You want to see it now, or do you want me to just hold it?
Hold it and give me the estimate if you would before the night's over.
Councilor Dolan, can I ask one question?
Of course.
Do we know what the impact is while they're down a vehicle to the animal control?
Well, then they would have to use, I think they have a backup vehicle, but this is for, because they have Animal Control 1 and 2, so this is number 2. So I don't know if they're currently sharing a vehicle, because they usually don't work in shifts together. They work off shifts, from my understanding. Does anybody else have any other questions?
It's more of a comment. So, first of all, Council Blair, I agree with you. I want to make sure that, they're not getting the work done until, we talk. There are times that we'll have to be a little flexible with that, just given, to your point, they have to use the backup. My bigger concern is, and Mr. Angelo, I appreciate what you were saying about you saw him at County Square and this and that. we've got to be careful making sure that we're not using that as anything to deliberate over, because could have been there for a simple oil change.
Oh,
Could have been
absolutely.
there for anything, so
Yeah.
just want to make sure that we're just kind of weighing that out as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna hold that one. From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I entertain a I'm sorry, did I ask anybody else if they had any other questions? Okay, so I'm moving on. From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I entertain a motion to transfer $525 from account 11241 000-578300 Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account 1420100-578020 Public Works previous year's bills to reimburse an employee.
Second?
So this is also for a hoisting license. Does anybody have any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. And, tonight, we're gonna talk about the, parking ban, winter parking ban. And I would invite every counselor that has an opinion or, to certainly comment on this, because I'd like to take it out tonight. So, any feedback on how anybody's feeling about this would be fantastic. So I'm gonna read it from the docket of December 20th, 2022. I entertain a motion to amend the following. Amend section 10-5.1L of the revised ordinances be deleted in its entirety, and a new section 10-5.1A be added as follows. 10-5.1A, emergency parking ban. 1, declaration of emergency parking ban. In the event of a weather emergency, including but not limited to an impeding winter storm involving the possibility of significant snowfall, the chief of police and/or superintendent of Department of Public Works may declare a weather emergency and implement a citywide parking ban. 2, duration of emergency parking ban. When a weather emergency has been declared, the parking ban will be strictly enforced and will remain in effect for at least 24 to 48 hours thereafter, unless lifted or further extended by the chief of police and/or superintendent of Department of Public Works. Prohibition and penalties. When a weather emergency parking ban is in effect, parking will be prohibited on both sides of all public streets and roadways. Vehicles found in violation of this section may be removed by or under the direction of the officer, of an officer, and at the expense of the owner to a place designated by the police chief. On-duty plows and emergency vehicles are exempt from the parking ban. Effective date, the provision shall take effect, it says April 1st, 2023, or 30 days after its adoption, whichever is later. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Okay. Counselor Blair?
You can go
Angelo?
first.
Angelo, then Blair?
I might be lengthy, go ahead.
Okay, all right. I just said, I agree with everything Chief Hegney had said. I think it's about time, and there is discretion on the Public Works and on the Chief of Police to do what they feel is necessary, and social media is out there, everybody has it. So I think this is good. I'm happy for this, and I think this will benefit the citizens, because there's a lot of tough parking for some of our residents in the city, and I think this is needed.
Excellent, thank you. Counsel Blair?
No disrespect, but I lived with that on the east side for 50 years. Not just a week or a bad winter, but 50 years I lived with that problem of parking on the street when there was a storm. I don't think it's all that clear. I mean, everybody there has their opinion. I have great respect for the chief of police, you know that. Undue respect. I would never vote against them except this time, right? It's a hassle. I've plowed myself for better part of 50 years. I've seen the trouble on the east side, and where I had my business, I grew up. People don't listen. Most of those houses there now are owned by absentee landlords that could care less. They have room to make parking, but they don't see it to their benefit because it affects their bottom line. I don't think it's a good idea. Should be mandatory for those months that you don't park on the street. And, yeah, maybe you give a little leeway when the sun out and it's 60 degrees, right? You don't go around tagging for nothing. But when snow falls, or there's an ice storm or something, they should be off the street. And it impales the people plowing snow or sanding to go around. If they can be on the street and it's got to be sanded, it didn't snow, and you didn't get a warning from either the chief or Public Works, you're going to have people saying their car was sanded, it was pitted, you're going to see insurance claims, trying to plow around a parked vehicle. You're going to have problems. My old saying, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. And this ordinance is not broken.
Counselor Holmes.
Hi, I do support this. It's a long overdue. We have so many ways to get the information out there, and I think it's upsetting when people aren't able to park on the street for that length of time when they live in areas that maybe they're renting. So I want to kind of give them access to be able to park. So I do think it's long overdue, and I will support this.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to call you.
That's all right. To Councilor Blair's point, I think enforcement is a big part of this. I think, giving this, I'd like to see this go into effect, and we'll give it the season to evaluate whether or not the enforcement is enough. But quite frankly, if people didn't listen during the ban, the general ban, they're not going to listen with a tailored ban. And I think the enforcement is the key to this working, regardless of which way it goes. I fully support this. I think understanding the East Side has some unique challenges there. To Councilor Holmes' point, I agree completely that this is a burden to those residents over there. Having the blanket ban is a burden to them. I think giving them the ability to park on the street is going to be helpful, particularly the last few winters we saw, knock on wood, we saw it was light, the snow was light, but there was still a ban in place and they couldn't use that street parking. And I think that's terrible. I've heard from a number of residents who said it doesn't make any sense that we just have a blanket rule based on a calendar, and I agree with that. So for that reason, I will support this change.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any comments? Tom?
I will support this as well. One of my questions, I'm concerned that it could be a problem, and we may regret this after a season. We may see it end up being a problem, and we may end up reversing it after a season or two. But I do want to try it and move forward. I would be open to some language that had sort of a sunset clause if there was something we could put in there. But I am supportive of it, and especially with the chief being supportive of it and backing it, I will support it even without a sunset clause. But if there was something that something like that we could put in there, I would be open to that as well.
I'm sorry. President Delacio?
Oh, no, go on, check committee.
No, I understand the sunset clause thing. I don't know if I'd be inclined to do it. I mean, certainly somebody could make an amendment, but I think I agree with you. I think we could regret this. We could. We might regret this, and but I think with today's technology, I think we should give it a shot, like most of us have said. And as far as the East Side people, they are unfairly damaged. And when you talk about the landlords, absentee landlords, I agree with that completely. But just in your comment, we know that they won't do anything to alleviate the pain of the residents. So I don't want to make the people that live inside this building suffer the consequences of what their landlord won't do. So we may regret it, and there's going to be growing pains, and there's going to be issues and we're gonna have to get used to this, and we can always reverse it. If this turns into a disaster, we can, next season, put in the same language and reverse it completely. And I understand, DPW, and I think our DPW is stellar. I think they do excellent work. And I understand their frustration. They'd rather have a clear road, and I get that. But I think with today's technology, I think we really should give it a shot. And we can always reverse it, whether we're here or other councils are here. Councilor Cobus, do you want to finish? Sorry, President Delicio.
Oh, you can go back. If
Or-
Todd wants to rebut
Okay.
this.
If I could,
Sure.
regardless of a sunset clause or not, we can always just reverse it and just modify it. They're called the
Revise ordinance.
revised ordinances
ordinances.
for a reason. So,
Right.
good point, Councilor Dolan. So, fair enough.
Thanks. President Delicio.
So you both essentially went down the road I was gonna go to. That's the thing about an ordinance, is it can always be amended, it can always be deleted, it can always be changed. I think we've been down this road so many times, this is probably the second or third time since I've been on council that it's come in front of us. I think it's time to get it out one way or another, vote it up, vote it down, we need to move on. What I would ask though, and I appreciate the urgency in which you want to get this out, I think that there's been some emails sent to us from residents that maybe we bring that into the discussion. Again, it's totally up to you. I think it's just, when we're looking at this, I want to look at it from all angles.
Sure. May I respond?
Yeah, it's your committee, my friend.
If you're referring to Brownell?
There were a couple different that came in.
Oh, I only got one.
All right.
Why did I only get one? I met with the gentleman on Brownell today. And I feel like I feel like there might be another avenue to assist him, to help him.
Sure.
He has a really unique situation down there, and I did meet with him, and I was honest with him and told him that I intended on bringing this out tonight. I think there might be something else that can help him out, so it's a really unique situation
Yeah.
down there.
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to put it on there, just for due
Sure,
diligence.
no, of course, and I do know that he requested it to go to all counselors, and I met with him this morning. We had an excellent conversation. I did see what his issues are. I don't think this would really change it much, but I'm not aware of any other emails. I might have been left off that, I don't know, but, Councilor Blair?
I just hope that the enforcement on this is strict. Because I don't know if too many people that are gonna get a $300 tow bill are gonna put their car out the next snowstorm or not get it off the road. But if it's just passed off as a give them a break type thing, and I know everybody deserves a break, but it's gonna get abused. I've seen it personally. I see how it is over there. I know how it is. I've had to work with it. It's my old saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it. It worked with the band. I know it was inconvenience for some, but they found a place to park their car, and they regularly park their car there in the winter. Or at least, when it snowed, they were aware and got it off the streets. It's not gonna cure the problem. It's gonna hurt the highway yard, those guys trying to plow snow. We can't get subcontractors now. If you make more of a hassle for them, you're gonna get less. We didn't see the public works superintendent up here saying it was great, did we? We seen the police chief up here saying he could handle it, which I think he can. But that's a hassle, always has been, and I repeat again, if it's not broke, don't fix it. End of conversation.
Councilor Bennett?
I won't read into our DPW superintendent not being here. I trust when Chief Hagney says that he has spoken with Superintendent Tyler, that they have worked out a plan, that they're both on board, that is what he told us is true. I have no reason to believe otherwise, so I won't read into it. that he couldn't come down for whatever reason on that particular night. I also haven't heard from him that he has any concerns about that, and we speak relatively regularly. So for that reason, I won't put too much weight on that.
I hope this council and the people listening at home, I have no doubt the guy will take care of it. When he says he can take care of something, he's a man of his word, he'll take care of it. I love the guy like he's my son. But I don't think it'll work. Maybe he does.
And we won't know, right? We won't know until we try. And I know that Superintendent,
Well, I won't be here next year to tell you you all were wrong, but you all are going to
I'm sure you'll find a way to get in touch with us to let us know.
That podium says citizen of Attleboro, council of the whole. And I will be here at that podium speaking for or against a lot of issues. I promise you that.
And we welcome it. But, you know, we understand, you know, and listen, I have an excellent relationship with the DPW. And
So don't I, believe it or not, Laura. Very good.
I'm not doubting that. And I think they do excellent work. And I know that they don't want this. But we also have residents out there that we report to that have been year after year wanting us to take care of this. And so we don't know if it won't work until we try it. And if it doesn't work, you can put me on the front page of the paper and say we were all fools that we thought it might work.
It
But we
won't
have-
happen. You have a better relation with the Attleboro Sun than I do.
I don't have any relationship with them, but what I'm saying is, we have constituents that this is why, as President Delicio said, we've talked about it so many times, we've talked about it because people have asked for it. So, we might fail, it might be disastrous, but we have to try, we have to listen to our constituents. Maybe it'll work, and if not, whether we're here or somebody else is here, well, actually, some of us will be here. But anyway, we'll get rid of it. We'll go right back to where we are right now. Maybe we'll shorten the length of time that we have the full-on parking ban. There's no exact answer as far as I'm concerned, but I realize, and I don't want to put more pressure on the DPW at all, but also we have constituents that have been hounding us for years to do something about this super inconvenience. So that's all I have to say on that. Are we all good? Does anybody else want to say anything? All right,
All set.
let's take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Not in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes. And that's all the business I have for Public Works. I'd like to call for an adjournment at 6:58.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.
So the License Committee, I'll call them at 6:58. And we have one motion that we're going to take up this evening. And so I would like to entertain a motion to waive Section 11-15.1 to serve alcoholic beverages or wine on city property September 30th, 2023, 6:30 to 10 p.m. at Capon Park Zoo from the Friends of Capon Park Zoo.
Second.
Thank you. Does anybody want to have any comments about this? Councilor Blair?
It's a great event, and it goes for a good cause. It's something we should do. I know it's a public venue, but it's for the public in the long run, so it's much appreciated, all the work that those Friends of Capon Park do, and it's a great night if you've ever attended.
And I agree with those words entirely. Is there anyone else who would like to say something about this? Okay, I think we're ready for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We just have two votes, so 2-0. And it passes. And that is the only item that we're going to take up this evening. So I would like to call an adjournment. All those in favor?
Second, aye.
And aye, and we are adjourned at 7 o'clock.
I'd like to call Transportation and Traffic Committee to order at 7 PM. Present with me is Councilor Dolan. Just one motion for this evening. I entertain a motion to hold a public hearing on October 3rd regarding the following. Request to amend 10-4.11, the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro, isolated stop signs to add southbound drivers on Steeplechase Circle at Bishop Street.
Second,
Thank you. Any comments or questions?
none.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. I'd like to call for an adjournment.
Second,
All those in favor?
aye.
Aye. We are adjourned at 7 PM.
All right. I'd like to call the Finance Committee to order at 7 PM. Tonight, President Delicio, will you be my
Indeed.
second for tonight? We have a number of items. From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I entertain a motion to transfer $85 from account 1124100-578-300 Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account 1124100-578-020 Citywide Bills previous year in order to pay a FY23 invoice to PTS providers payphone at police station.
Second.
Motion's in order. The previous year's bill to pay for the payphone at the police station. Any comments?
Done.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I entertain a motion to establish Fund 8508 Opioid Settlement Stabilization Fund, and that 100% of opioid settlement funds be deposited into this fund. Funds may be expended for all purposes allowed by law, including those outlined in applicable opioid litigation settlement documents, a document prepared by the Substance Abuse Bureau of the Commonwealth's Office of Health and Human Services Department, and consistent with any state guidelines or regulations further clarifying allowable uses of opioid litigation settlement funds.
Second.
Motions in order. This is to establish the Fund 8508. I think this is the second year we've received these, or we received the funds the first time last year, or it might have been the second time last year. But anyway, this is to set up the fund. I could send around a link to the documentation for what the funds can be used for if anyone has questions. But this is just to set up the fund for using these funds. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I entertain a motion to transfer $200 from account 1124100-578-300 Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account 1124100-578-020 Citywide Bills previous years in order to pay the balance of an FY23 invoice to Atlantic Elevator South Company Incorporated.
Second.
Motion's in order. Again, it's a previous year's bill. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I entertain a motion to make the following transfers totaling $331,700.86 to provide partial funding for the police station roof project. $167,916.46 from 3541-599000 Route 123 Thatcher Rathburn other financing uses to 3574-499000 police roof other financing sources. $65,784.40 from 3558-599000 fire department roofs other financing uses to 3574-499000, police roof-other financing sources, $98,000 from account 112410000-578380, citywide reserve for capital to account 112410000-599300, citywide transfer to capital fund, and to further transfer $98,000 to fund 3574-499000, police roof other financing sources.
Second.
Motion's in order. And this is to fund the police station roof project. This project was originally $240,000. The cost increased to $331,000. It was, according to Police Agni, they didn't fully, they underappreciated the leak itself and the cost. That combined with the inflation and all that led to the overall cost increase. Luckily, we were able to find the money and so that they don't have to bond for it, and we're able to move money around so that I support this. I hope you do as well. So, any questions?
I'm none.
Councilor Blair?
What's the total money being put towards the 330,000 that we regrouped from other projects?
So it was 240,
Went to 330, I understand that.
correct?
And we are taking money from projects that are finished
Correct.
and applying them to the roof. My question is, what has the net result on the cost of the roof come to?
It comes up to the
It comes out to
amount
exactly
accepted,
331,
No, the total cost of
786.
adding this in, I think is the question.
The total cost adding this in?
Yes, adding this
No.
in, the total cost on the roof?
You said the total cost on the roof was 330?
331.
Yeah.
Okay, now we've taken money from projects that are completed
Correct.
and put them into that account. And you said we don't have to bond for it now. What is the final total on the roof with those monies transferred? I think it's a pretty simple question.
Correct, and I think there was just, when Vice President Kobus was reading this, the motion is to make the transfers totaling $331,700.86 to provide partial funding for the police roof project. The total, so if you're looking for the total,
What's the total roof project that we were gonna bond for?
okay, so that's,
That I missed completely.
okay, so that's, if I may, that's a different
Correct.
question, because what this motion is to offset that total price. I don't know if you have that.
I don't.
If you're not. But, you know, this is a project that I think needs to get going.
Oh, it needs,
This is-
it needs to be done. I'm not questioning that. I thought I asked a simple question. You know, how much did this reduce the cost of that roof?
By 331,000.
It
Right.
reduced it by 330. You don't have the
Correct.
figure on
I
that.
don't have the total. I don't have that total.
We can
Sorry.
hold this till next week, too.
It's up to you.
I
It's gotta be done. I'm not questioning that.
no,
And
no.
I'm glad to see that they were smart enough
What's
to
that?
take some money and use it.
I think we voted out.
yeah, I think we want to vote it out to get this moving.
I agree with you, but
Okay.
I still would like those answers.
Sure, absolutely. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. And the next item. I'd say a motion to waive all portions of applicable building permit fees which can be waived for this project. Therefore, I respectfully request that the following fees be waived. Building permit, $100,000, mechanical, $100,000, sheet metal, $100,000, electrical, 35% general fund, plumbing, 35% general fund, gas, 35% general fund.
Second.
Excuse me, the permits are $100,000, or you waiving 100% of the permit fees?
100%. It was just right.
100%.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye,
Aye. Motion passes. Move to adjourn.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned at 7:10. Call the IT and Infrastructure Committee to order at 7:10. The committee is myself, Counselor Holmes, and Counselor Conti is not here. We have one item for tonight from the docket of September 5th, 2023. I entertain a motion to transfer $99 from account 1124100-578300 Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account 1124100-578020 Citywide bills from previous year to pay a fiscal year 28 invoice to Visual Edge IT.
Second.
Motion's in order, just an IT, so, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Move to adjourn,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned at 7:11.
Calling Zoning and Land Use Committee to order at 7:11. Myself and Vice President Davis. I have two motions this evening. From the docket of
Okay.
September 5th, 2023, I entertain a motion that the city accept a land donation from Brian Cave, president of Cave Corporation, to fulfill conditions of an approved subdivision entitled Dale Court Extension, known as Parcel A, containing 4.6 acres of real estate for open space purposes in perpetuity and place under stewardship of the Conservation Commission.
Second.
We received backup information. This is just to have this land go to the Conservation Commission. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. So we're going to be having a public hearing on the 66 acceptance on October 3rd. I'm not really sure what to expect during that, but it seems like it's going to be kind of a big one, because 66 streets we're going to be, I think, approving. From the docket of December 21st, 2021, I entertain a motion to call for a public hearing on October 17th regarding the adoption of amendments to Ordinance 17 about accessory dwelling units.
Second.
Thank you. This is just a call for a public hearing. All those in favor? Aye.
I'm sorry, point of order. Can we just, friendly amendment to change it to a joint public hearing with the planning board?
Oh, yes. Okay. So I will call, I entertain a motion to call for a joint public hearing on October 17th.
Thank you. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That motion passes. That's all the business this evening. I'll call for an adjournment.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned at 7:12.
City properties canceled, ordinances is canceled, so Councilor Blair.
Thank you. I have one motion this evening from the docket of May 21st, 2019. I entertain a motion to address the following exemption amount and eligibility factors for the property tax. No, I got the wrong one. Just had it. What did I do with it? There you go. Shit, from the docket of September 5th, 2023, I entertain a motion to approve the increase to the previously approved council vote number 8, voted 6/6/23, expenditure limit for the revolving fund, number 2610, fire ambulances, from $1,000,003 to $1,005,000.
Second.
As always, I'm shocked with the prices. I remember voting for an ambulance for $180,000, and I thought that was high at the time, so. You know about the ambulance fees, that's one of the reasons. Have any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Move to adjourn at 7:14 or 7:19? I can't.
Second.
7:14.
7:14.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Special Committee on Tax Abatement is canceled. Councilman Joe.
Special Committee on Classification Compensation is canceled, but I would like to say the bids were due for September 1st for the classification and compensation. So that's passed now, and the questions had still been coming in up until then, and so from there, they're gonna get working on that, and they will work on the company that is gonna work on this. So that should all be ready and moving forward soon. It's gonna take time, but it's heading forward.
Great, thank you. I'd like to call this meeting of the Municipal Council to order at 7:15. Please rise and join me for a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you please read the notice for our first and only public hearing this evening?
Certainly. Public hearing regarding an application from Paul R. Quartermarsh of Andover Avenue requesting to keep on premise more than one unregistered motor vehicle as is addressed in Section 9-32.3 of the City of Attleboro ordinances.
Thank you. Do we have anyone to speak in favor? Anyone to speak in favor? Anyone to speak against? Please come to the podium. And if you don't mind giving your name and address for the record, please.
I'm Nancy Hale from 31 Slade Avenue, Attleboro, Mass.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. I don't mind that he keeps one unregistered car, but he has 7. And I think that's excessive. And it backs up to my backyard, and I have to look at them all the time. They're not under repair. He used to have dreams of repairing them all. I don't think that's gonna happen at this time. They've been there over 30 years. So I'd like him to keep one, but not 6, 7 of them.
Thank you. Any questions for the speaker?
Stay.
Yes. Come on back.
Yep, I'm sorry.
No worries.
No
Do we
worries.
have any questions for Ms. Hale? Ms. Hale?
You said these vehicles have
Councilor
been,
Blair?
you said these vehicles have been there some time?
Yes, they've been there quite a while. They're actually rotting into the ground. Some of them are up to the rim of the tire. The tire is flattened and it sank into the ground that much.
And he has upwards of 7?
Yes.
Thank you. You know that's against the ordinance, right?
I don't know what the no ordinance is. I didn't read it.
All right,
But he's also my brother.
okay.
Any additional questions? Okay. Nancy, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have anyone else to speak against?
Is this about the Cormachi?
Yes.
I think he might have missed.
I didn't realize what this letter until I read it 2 days ago.
Sure. Can we have your name and address for the record, please?
Is this about his vans that he's got parked down there?
Yes, it is. Can we, sir, can
Now,
we have
does he
you-
completely,
Sir,
I live on the next street over.
okay, can we have your name and address for the record, please?
I can't hear you.
Your name and address for the record,
Oh,
please?
Leon Jimmy Davis, 860 Newport Avenue,
Thanks,
South
sir.
Attleboro. He lives one street down. I go over in that. It's a U-turn, so to speak, you know. Does he own that property? Has he got that property all along?
So the purpose of this is to,
If he owns it, I think, you know, he can do whatever the heck he wants to do with it. But I mean, he's got them lined up there. I don't see there's no problem. I never have had any problem with it. I don't know why in the hell I got this letter, but I did. So I thought it was, you know, because I've got a few too, you know,
Yeah,
You're in a
You know.
butter.
Huh?
You're in a butter or within a certain distance from that request, so you
Well,
get it.
I would give him, what, if he requests for, that I'd give it to him. Yeah. I don't see, I don't know whether you uses it for parts or whatever, but if it's his property and he's got it on there, so I don't see no problem. And I go around there all the time and I see them. It don't bother me a bit.
any questions for the speaker?
No.
Okay. Thank you for coming up tonight.
Oh, you're welcome. Simplify.
Simplify.
Do we have anyone else to speak against? Anyone else to speak against? Anyone to speak neither for nor against? Anyone to speak neither for nor against? Seeing none, Councilor Waterman, do you see any reason to keep this public hearing open?
I do not.
I declare this public hearing closed. I would now entertain a motion to go into committee of the whole.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We now entered into committee of the whole. If we have anyone who would like to come up and address the council on any matter, please do so. And Laura, welcome.
Hello, good evening. My name is Laura Abrams. I live at 35 Cumberland Street, Attleboro, Massachusetts. I am the vice chair of the Attleboro Commission on Disabilities, and I believe I had somebody else here. Albert, do you want to come to the front?
Excuse me, folks. Excuse me, folks, if we could limit the conversation out back. Thank you.
Albert? Okay.
He can't hear you.
He can't hear us.
Thank you.
Okay. That's what I told him.
Thank you for your patience, Laura.
No worries. Albert and I are here tonight to address the city council, and we understand that you've received formal invitations to our second annual wheelchair stroll on September 30th, and we hope that you'll all be with us on that day, because I think it's very important accessibility is very important to everybody. So, Albert, would you like to say a few words?
Well, no, other than we just want to invite everybody to attend again. For anybody that came last year, we thought it was a very successful event for us. And just as a little sideline to it, a couple days later, there was another event similar in Pittsburgh and another one in Memphis, Tennessee. We did the same type of thing. They actually used some of the same rhetoric that we used up here, so they must have saw it on YouTube or wherever they saw it. So if we keep it up, maybe we can generate a lot of energy across the country for people to look more at the handicap situations.
Awesome. What a wonderful event.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions for the speakers? Council Waterman.
Well, it's not so much a question, but let's form a question if we can. So I participated last year and actually used a wheelchair for the first time in my life. And we were going from the back of City Hall down to the center, up Bank. And then we were coming across to the library. And I'm telling you, it's not easy. When you hit little bumps that are nothing, you have to use a little extra effort, unless you're mechanized, perhaps. But what really surprised me was going down Bank. I was having trouble going straight, and I kept having to do this kind of an action just to continue to go straight. And I found out, it looked great to me, the sidewalk. It wasn't perfectly level, all the way down Bank.
Thank you.
And I learned that how important it is to have a level sidewalk. So, and it was difficult for me, so I can imagine it'd be difficult for a lot of people.
Well, easier for me than it is for somebody that's moving with their hands and whatnot. It's very, very difficult because generally you're an older type person and you got strong arms or you don't go too far.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you
for what you're
Councilor
doing.
But I can say this, that go along with what you're saying, I went down 152 the other day, and the sidewalks are about this high off the the granite keeps the sidewalk very high up. And I hit a bump, and the bump kicked my wheelchair off to the right, and I almost went off the edge. If I'd have fell there, I would have been there for, I guess, road keep. So it's kind of dangerous. And you wouldn't notice it unless you really was in a wheelchair and you saw it there, but not. But we are making some headway. I understand they are going to be fixing that Sanford Street area that we went up to the Y this year. Now, it may not be done at the wheelchair stroll, but we'll come up with an alternate route. There's routes in there we'd like to show people the success of having a better sidewalk than what we had previously. So, other than that, I've got nothing else to say.
Awesome. Additional questions or comments for the speakers? Vice President Kobus.
Did you say what time on the 30th?
I think it's 10 a.m.
10 a.m. from here, yes.
People
it's 10 a.m.
need to meet here at 10 a.m.?
That's
Yes,
correct, yes.
here at City Hall, in the parking
Okay.
lot here.
Perfect.
Excellent. Thank you both so much for coming out, and thank you for, it's exciting this is the second annual, so
Yes, it
kudos.
was very successful last year, so we do hope that everybody can join us this year.
Excellent. Thanks so much for your
Thank
work.
you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
You guys have
Sure.
a great night.
You
You too.
Do we have anyone else who would like to speak at Committee of the Whole? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to arise. Second, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We have now risen from Committee of the Whole. We will now go into a reading of the mayor's communication.
September 5th, 2023. Dear municipal councilors, I respectfully submit for confirmation by your honorable body the appointment of John Camara of 562 South Main Street as an associate member of the Zoning Board of Appeals to fill an unexpired term to expire February 2024. Copies in your packets.
Personnel, Veterans, Human Services Committee, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Attleboro Public Schools Director of Finance, Mark Furtado, regarding the following fiscal year 23 fiscal obligations that were not received in time to be processed in the normal fiscal year 23 business cycle. We have B&R Air Rate Consulting for $6,631.25, Flynn Scientific, $24.57, and UMass Medical, $15,266.49. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body to authorize the school department to pay these previous year's school bills totaling $21,922.31 as identified in Mr. Furtado's communication. Copies in your packets.
Finance Committee, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Director of Recreation Dennis Walsh regarding the need for additional funds to purchase a John Deere 1570 terrain cut mower with Petco collection system. On December 7th, 2021, your honorable body voted to approve $35,184 to make this purchase. Due to the supply chain issues, the unit has not been delivered. An update quote from the vendor has increased the cost by $5,373.24 with a delivery date of next spring. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $5,373.24 from account 11241000-578300 Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account 16301000-585046 Recreation Mower. Additionally, I hereby request your honorable body authorize the use of funding from the Recreation revolving funds to complete the purchase if needed. Copies in your packets.
Public Works Committee, please.
In conjunction with the receipt of the opioid settlement funds previously outlined in an earlier communication, the city has identified certain strategies for which our opioid settlement funds will be used. These strategies will ensure the funds serve their intended purposes of supplementing and strengthening resources for prevention, harm reduction, treatment, and recovery. Having conducted a community input meeting and survey related to the impact of the opioid crisis on the city and our residents, and working in close consult with Chief Hegney, Health Nurse Allison Brum, and Health Agent Beth Hallal, I have prepared the attached opioid settlement fund plan. This plan outlines the planned uses of the opioid settlement funds, and in particular calls for the addition of 2 new exempt positions to further those objectives. Although thoughtfully planned, this is a new initiative and adjustments will be necessary as we learn more about the needs of our residents struggling with I think that's supposed to say opioid. So I don't know what OUD is. Do you?
I think OUD is fine.
All right. And the needs of local care providers. Moreover, because the settlement funds payment have a limited duration, the city will need to carefully evaluate which positions, programs, resources, and activities, if any, will continue after the settlement payments end, and how they will be funded. Copies in your packets.
Thank you. FYI to all councilors, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Personnel Director Lynn Devine requesting to add 2 new positions to the exempt classification plan. In accord with the Commonwealth's guidelines for expenditure of mutual opioid settlement recoveries and to further the objectives outlined in the city's opioid settlement fund plan, these positions would work under the general direction of the police chief. As you are aware, the Commonwealth has stipulated that the opioid abatement funds be used to supplement and strengthen resources available to communities and families for substance use disorder prevention, harm reduction, treatment, and recovery. It is believed that the addition of these 2 positions will fulfill this requirement for use of the funds and will be a great addition to the resources available to the community. The 2 positions are as follows. Recovery Support Navigator, RSN, would be placed on the classification plan as a grade 4. The RSN will work to support residents struggling with substance use disorder and behavior mental disorders. Please see attached job description for details. 2, Certified Peer Specialist would be placed on the classification plan as a grade 3. The peer specialist will offer guidance and support to people who are struggling with substance abuse, psychological trauma, or mental health disorders. Please see attached job descriptions for details. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body establish a Recovery Support Navigator position to be placed at grade 4 on the city's classification plan and establish a Certified Peer Specialist position to be placed at grade 3 on the city's classification plan. Copies in your packets.
Personnel, Veterans, Human Services Committee, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Superintendent of Park and Forestry Derek Corsi regarding the donation of caliper sycamore tree to Highland Park, an estimated value of $150 from Liz Nato of Attleboro. In accordance with Section 1-12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro, I hereby request your honorable body to accept this generous donation to the City of Attleboro. Copies in your packets.
City Property and Claims, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Chief Assessor Julie Hobson regarding the need for funds for the purpose of updating the City of Attleboro street map. The street map update is the first in a series of updates the Planning Department and Assessor's Office hope to achieve over the next year. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $975 from account 1124100-578300 citywide reserve fund for transfer to account 1141100-530117 assessor mapping services. Copies in your packets.
Zoning and Land Use, please.
On March 3rd, 2020, your honorable body voted to approve a home rule petition regarding an act relative to the amendment of Mass General Laws Chapter 32, Section 42B and Section 4, 2B and 4, 2C, solely as they relate to the calculation of Walter I. Girton's pension. Since that time, the state legislature has worked toward the passage of this legislation, which is presently before the Massachusetts Senate as Senate 1677 and the Massachusetts House of Representatives as House 2549. The state legislature has modified the original March 2020 text of the legislation with the assistance of the Public Employee Retirement Administration Commission, also known as PERAC, to ensure that the retirement allowance payable to Walter I. Girton would be inclusive of any cost of living adjustments that Mr. Girton may be eligible for since the original date the home rule petition was approved by the Honorable Municipal Council. At a regular meeting of the Attleboro Retirement Board held on August 24, 2023, the board voted to forward the below home rule pension drafted on behalf of retiree Walter I. Girton. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body petition the General Court to enact the following legislation. Senate 1677, House 2549, an act relative to the amendment of Mass General Laws, Chapter 32, Section 4, 2B, and 4, 2C, solely as they relate to the calculation of Walter L. Girton's pension. Be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives in General Court assembled and by the authority of the same as follows. Section 1. Notwithstanding the provisions of Sections 4.2b and 4.2c of Chapter 32 or any other general or special law to the contrary, Walter Girton shall receive a retirement allowance based upon the 32 years of credible service calculated by the Attleboro Retirement Board as the date of his retirement, November 17th, 2017. Section 2, this act shall apply as of November 17, 2017, and the Attleboro Retirement Board shall pay to Walter Girton any amounts owed between the date of retirement and the passage of this act. Said retirement allowance shall be subject to the provisions of Sections 103 of Chapter 32. Copies in your packets.
Personnel, Veterans, Human Services, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Personnel Director Lynn Devine and Budget Administration Director Mason Lord regarding memorandum of agreement between the City of Attleboro and the Attleboro Laborers Association Local 1144. The City and the Laborers Union were able to reach an agreement for an additional 3-year contract from July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2026. There was a 3% cost of living adjustment, COLA, in years 1 and 2, and a 2% COLA in year 3. There were some additional language changes, which included the stipend section of the contract. The negotiation team feels that this is a good agreement, but will continue to evaluate the laborers' wages as well as the city's financial position. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body make the following transfers. $46,000.
Madam Clerk, you can waive the reading of the transfers. That will
Thank
come
you.
out in committee.
Copies in your packets.
That will go to Personnel, Veterans, Human Services.
Thank you. I respectfully submit a communication from Chief of Police Kyle P. Hegney regarding the anticipated receipt of the fiscal year 24 9/11 training grant from the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security, EOPS, in the amount of $307,504.98. Monies from this grant must be expended no later than June 30th, 2024. Please note that this grant follows reimbursement protocol and there is no matching requirement. In accordance with Chapter 1, Section 12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro, I hereby request your honorable body approve expending of such funds and any future grant amendments. Copies in your packets.
Public Safety and Emergency Management, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from APS Director of Finance Mark Furtado regarding a 42-month lease for 2 production copiers to be deployed in the copy center of the Attleboro School District. In accordance to Section 5-8 lease purchase agreement of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro, I hereby request your honorable body to approve a 42-month lease agreement with Conica Minolta. Copies in your packets.
City Property and Claims, please.
I respectfully submit for confirmation by your honorable body the appointment of Samuel Joseph Harrington, 334 Oak Hill Avenue, as a constable to fill an expired term to expire February 2024.
Personnel, Veterans, Human Services, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Superintendent of Schools, David Sawyer, regarding a vehicle that the school department would like to surplus. There was no interest in the vehicle from any of the departments. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body to declare the following as surplus and available for dispositions. Copies in your packets. We have a 1995 GMC Sierra pickup, VIN number 1GTHK34K0SE505475, and condition is not operational.
City Property, please.
Thank you. I respectfully submit a communication from Water Superintendent Courtney Allen and Treasurer Laura Gignac regarding the Wading River treatment plant. As your honorable body is aware, the drinking water produced at the Wading River treatment plant does not meet current regulations for PFAS as set by the state of Massachusetts. As well as higher levels of PFAS, the plant is also a source of elevated total TTHMs and manganese in the distribution system. Designed for the temporary PFAS removal treatment is complete and has been approved by Mass DEP. The temporary facility is expected to be placed online in the summer of 2024. The next phase in the design of the new permanent treatment facility is evaluating the placement of the needed infrastructure. This requires an investigation and evaluation of the city-owned property at the current Wading River facility site, including layout of the needed new infrastructure, groundwater and vernal pool investigation, frontage and setback restrictions required by Mansfield, investigation of potential easements that may be required for construction, topography review, and evaluation of access to utilities from the site. This work is in progress and the completed siting study is expected in September 2023. Once the required treatment processes, the next step is design of a new permanent treatment facility at the Wading River site, which will be capable of meeting all drinking water regulations, including those for PFAS, and TTHMs, and manganese. This loan order will provide funding for the engineering services and related costs of the design, permitting, and bidding for the permanent facility. A loan authorization of $1,580,000 is now needed for this project. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body to approve the following loan order. Ordered that $1,580,000 is appropriated for the design, permitting, bidding for the permanent PFAS treatment facility be located at the Wading River plant, located at 250 Balcom Street, Mansfield, Massachusetts, including all costs incidental or related thereto, that to meet this appropriation, the treasurer, with the approval of the mayor, is authorized to borrow $1,580,000 under Section 7(7) of Chapter 44 of the General Laws or any other enabling authority, and that the mayor is authorized to take any other necessary or convenient to carry out this project. Copies in your packets.
Finance Committee, please. And Vice President Corbus, would you like to call for a public hearing on 1017?
Yes.
There's a second.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
I regret to inform you that Peter Conley will be resigning from the Traffic Study Commission effective September 30th. Peter has served the city and its residents well, and we thank him for giving him his time and effort to making our roads safer.
FYI to all councilors, please.
For your information, we are in the process of reviewing and scheduling interviews for a new zoo director. In order to comply with AZA regulations and to ensure zoo operations continue uninterrupted, I am extending the appointment of Assistant Zoo Director Brenda Young as Acting Zoo Director. She will continue to serve in this position for an additional 90 days or until the Zoo Director is filled, whichever is earliest.
Thank you. FYI, copy to all councilors.
As I'm sure you all agree, the city's website is the most important tool for delivering information and services to our community. Ideally, a website provides information and services in a manner that is visually engaging, accessible, initiative, and importantly, mobile-friendly. Our current website was designed several years ago and is based on the structure of city departments. It is not mobile-friendly or initiative. Did I spell that right?
Intuitive.
Yeah, thank you. It also does not provide enough opportunities for online payment of fees, submissions of forms, and does not make it easy for residents to learn about community programs and events. Equally important, the Notify Me information alert system has a very limited number of subscriptions, is not cost efficient, and is not as robust as needed for a city of our size. For all of these reasons, I am working with staff to completely redesign the city website and hope to have the new site up by spring. The redesign will come at no additional cost as it is included in our current Civic Plus contract. I am also working with Chief Hegney and Chief LaChance to upgrade our alert notification system with Civic Ready, a Civic Plus product that allows for an unlimited number of texts, email, and call subscribers. In addition, Civic Ready has multiple post methods, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It is far more informative, accessible, and engaging system, particularly when most people rely on cell phones and social media pages for notifications of important information. Offering Civic Ready to residents will come with a modest cost, but in return, more residents will be engaged through timely and informative notifications about emergencies, critical and important issues, and events in the city. After we have completed our review of Civic Ready, a funding request will be sent for your consideration.
Thank you. FYI.
Thank you. Personnel Director Lynn Devine has identified a need for an update to the city's job safety trainings and protocols. Thus far, she has been working with the DPW and the water and wastewater departments to assess their particular job safety training needs. In order to ensure a professional, thorough, and complete safety training process, we have secured the services of United Safety Professionals to conduct a year-long safety and health and compliance program. Contracting for employee safety training services is exempt from Chapter 30B, procurement protocols. Because of the relationship between employee safety and workers' compensation issues, Lynn will continue to work with the department heads and United Safety in coordinating and overseeing the safety training. Both the Water and Wastewater Department will be employing United Safety Professionals for the training of their employees and will fund the training through their enterprise funds. To secure the necessary and appropriate safety trainings for DPW employees and other employees who perform similar duties, we need to transfer funds, as these trainings were not contemplated when the fiscal year 24 budget was prepared. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $26,000 from account 1124100-578300 Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account 11521000-530180 Personnel Safety Study. Copies in your packets.
Thank you. Personnel, Veterans, Human Services, please.
Sincerely, Kathleen D. Simone, Mayor.
Thank you. We'll now go on to a reading of the clerk's communication, please.
We have received an application to keep on premise more than one unregistered motor vehicle, Section 9-32.3, from Jenny Beck and Dan Harlow of 352 Pike Avenue, requesting to keep on premise 3 unregistered vehicles.
License Committee, please. And Councilor Waterman, would you like to call for a public hearing on October 17th?
That's fine.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Holmes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
That concludes communications.
And we will now go into committee reports, beginning as always with Councilor Waterman.
Okay. So reporting on the docket of August 15th, 2023. I would like to entertain a motion to waive Section 11-15.1 to serve alcoholic beverages or wine on city property on September 30th, 2023, from 6:30 to 10 p.m. at Capeland Park Zoo from the Friends of Capeland Park Zoo.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
No, I think it's very self-explanatory.
And we will have a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
8 yeas, 0
Thank
nays.
you. Motion passes.
And that is all, concludes the business of the License Committee. We'll have a meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. Councilor Dolan.
Thank you. Reporting for Public Works Committee from the docket of September 5th, 2023. I move to transfer $25.45 from the account Wastewater Enterprise Fund Reserve Fund for transfer to account Wastewater Enterprise Fund previous year's bills for a higher than expected water bill.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
No comments.
Any additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I move to transfer $94.95 from account Park Allowance License to account Park Prior Years License for an employee reimbursement.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
Hoisting license, what we just discussed.
We'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I move to transfer $92.50 from account Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account Public Works previous year's bills to reimburse an employee.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Councilor Holmes, motion is in order. Any comments?
We just discussed for CDL license.
Additional comments? We'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I move to authorize the payment of the following previous year's invoices for Park and Forestry as there is sufficient funding in Fund 2607. One invoice in the amount of $49.74 for, to Apple Photo Booth, Inc., 2 invoices in the amount of $340 each to Bamboo Bob LLC, and 2 invoices in the amounts of $38.16 and $9.99 to WB Mason.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
No comments.
Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I move to transfer $525 from account Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account Public Works previous year's bills to reimburse an employee.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any comments?
CDL, hoisting license, CDL license, excuse me. No, sorry, lied. Hoisting license, we already discussed.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of December 20th, 2022, I move to amend the following. Amend section 10-5.11 of the revised ordinance by deleting in its entirety and new section 10-5.1A be added as follows.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. You may waive the reading. Thank you, Councilor Holmes. Motion's in order. Any comments?
Well, we had a lot of discussion in committee, so I don't think I have anything further to say on the committee.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
No.
President Delicio?
Yes.
7 yeas, 1 nay.
Thank you. Motion passes.
And that's all the business from the Public Works Committee, and we look forward to a meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. We'll recognize Council Bennett, then we'll have Vice President Cobus do his two committees.
Thank you. Reporting for Transportation and Traffic Committee this evening, one motion. On the docket of August 15th, 2023, entertain a motion to hold a public hearing on October 3rd regarding the following: request to amend 10-4.11 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro, isolated stop signs to add southbound drivers on Steeplechase Circle at Bishop Street.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any comments?
No comments.
This requires a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
That concludes the business of Transportation and Traffic Committee for this evening. We look forward to a meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you, Council Bennett. Vice President Cobus.
Thank you. From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I move to transfer $85.
Reporting for finance.
Reporting for the Finance Committee. From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I move to transfer $85 from account Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account Citywide Bills previous year in order to pay fiscal year 23 invoice to PTS providers payphone at police station.
Second.
Thank you, Council Dolan. Motion is in order. Any comments?
It's the payphone at the police station.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I move to establish Fund 8508 Opioid Settlement Stabilization Fund, and that 100% of opioid settlement funds be deposited into this fund. Funds may be expended for all purposes allowed by law, including those outlined in applicable opioid litigation settlement documents, a document prepared by the Substance Abuse Bureau of the Commonwealth's Office of Health and Human Services Department, and consistent with any state guidelines or regulations further clarifying allowable uses of opioid litigation settlement funds.
Second.
Thank you, Council Dolan. Motion is in order. Any comments? Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I move to transfer $200 from account Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account Citywide Bills previous year in order to pay the balance of an FY23 invoice to Atlantic Elevator South Company Incorporated.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
Previous year's bill.
We'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I move to make the following transfers totaling $331,700.86 to provide partial funding for the police station roof project.
Second.
Waive the reading. Thank you, Council Holmes. Motion's in order. Any comments?
And the total that's being moved around is $331,000, which adds to the original funding amount, which was $240,000, and to Councilor Blair's original question, the total amount now is $571,000 total. I don't know what the
Cost of the-
which includes a contingency in the, so I brought up the original, and that does include a contingency, but, so the total amount altogether, it's 240 plus the 331 is 571K total.
571 is the cost of the project, total
Which-
cost of the
including a contingency,
project. Okay.
all right?
Thank you for that. Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote beginning with Councilor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, motion passes.
And from the docket of September 5th, 2023, I move to waive all portions of applicable building permit fees which can be waived for this project. Therefore, I respectfully request that the following fees be waived.
Second.
Thank you, motion is in order. Any comments?
No comments.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote beginning with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, motion passes.
That concludes the business for the Finance Committee.
Council meeting.
And reporting for the IT and Infrastructure Committee from the docket,
Vice President Cobus, would you like to call for a committee meeting for finance at the next appropriate time, please?
call for Finance Committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Please, sir.
And reporting for the IT and Infrastructure Committee from the docket of September 5th, 2023, I move to transfer $99 from account Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account Citywide Bills previous year in the order to pay a fiscal year invoice to Visual Edge IT.
Second.
Thank you, motion is in order. Any comments?
No comments.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, this will be a roll call vote beginning with Councilor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, motion passes.
That concludes the business for the IT and Infrastructure Committee, and I call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you for pulling double duty this evening. It's appreciated. Councilor Holmes.
Thank you. Reporting for Zoning and Land Use Committee this evening, I have two motions. From the docket of September 5th, 2023, I move that the city accept a land donation from Brian Cave, president of Cave Corporation, to fulfill conditions of an approved subdivision entitled Dale Core Extension, known as Parcel A, containing 4.6 acres of the real estate for open space purposes in perpetuity and placed under stewardship for the Conservation Commission.
Second.
Thank you, motion is in order. Any comments?
We reviewed this in committee.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have roll call vote beginning with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, motion passes.
From the docket of December 21st, 2021, I entertain a motion to call for a joint public hearing on October 17th regarding adoption of amendments to Ordinance 17 about accessory dwelling units.
Second.
Thank you, motion is in order. Any comments?
Just calling for a joint public hearing.
This motion requires a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
That concludes the business, oh, sorry, you were done, right? Yeah, motion passes. All right, that concludes the business this evening. I'll call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will be calling for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time for ordinances and city property. Mr. Angelo.
Thank you, President Delicio. Calling for Personnel, Veterans, Human Services Committee from the docket of September 5th, 2023. I move to approve the appointment of Leo Johnson, 45 Phillip Street, as constable to fill an expired term to expire February 2024.
Second.
Any additional questions or comments?
We just heard from Leo and very pleased to have him.
Additional questions or comments from the council? Seeing none, this requires a voice vote. All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Opposed? Motion passes.
Okay. From the docket of August 15th, 2023, I move to approve the appointment of Chris Rowley of Parsonage Way to the Liquor Licensing Board, term to expire 2029.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
We discussed this in committee, and we're lucky to have Chris.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, this requires a voice vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
For the docket of August 15, 2023, move to transfer $1,678.08 from account Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account Veterans Prior Year Salaries.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
No, we discussed this in committee.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, this will be a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of July 20th, 2023, I move to approve the appointment of Carrie Gray of Briarwood Drive to the Council on Human Rights, term to expire February 2025.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
We just met with Carrie. Great, she did great. Happy to have her.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, this requires a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
That's all for Personnel, Veterans, Human Services Committee. Call for a meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. We'll now recognize Councilor Blair.
Thank you. Reporting for the Public Safety Committee. I have one motion this evening. I entertain, from the docket of September 5th, 2023, I entertain a motion to approve to increase a previously approved Council Vote Number 86623 expenditure limit for the revolving fund number 2610 fire ambulance from $1,300,000 to $1,500,000.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
No, it's just a staggering amount, like I said previously, to what these particular items have grown. You know, it is what it is.
True. Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
I have no other business for public safety this evening. Wish to have a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you, Councilor Blair. There is one piece of old business, and we will recognize Councilor Blair. We haven't heard from you in a while.
Get used to it. I got 4 more months to go. You're gonna hear plenty.
Oh, boy.
Thanks, Jay.
I just meant that you had the last committee.
Yeah, okay. Voted 10 yeas, 0 nays. Councilman Reynolds was absent to approve the following transfer of $434 from account 112310000-578350 Citywide Reserve Fund labor negotiations to the following accounts. $150,000 fire overtime, $30,000 fire college credits, $60,000 to fire night differential, $180,000 fire certification differential, $14,000 to fire uniforms. The correction to be voted is the following account. Account 112310000-578350 Citywide Reserve Fund for Labor Negotiation should be account number 1124100.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any comments?
No, it looks like it was just a scribner's error, you know.
Yep.
Got to dot the i's and cross the t's, right?
Exactly. Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes. We have one piece of new business for which I will recognize Councilor Angelo.
Okay, I move the following to be referred for study and recommendation. An ordinance amending Chapter 11 of the revised ordinance of the City of Attleboro, trade and fur products prohibited. Chapter 11 of the revised ordinance of the City of Attleboro is hereby amended by adding a new section 11-23 as follows. Section 11-23, trade and fur products. 11-23.1, purpose to protect the health and welfare of the inhabitants of the city. The ordinance will restrict trade in fur products, fur farms, and reservoirs. Fur farms are reservoirs and transmissions vectors for dangerous zoonotic diseases, including SARS, coronavirus, that threaten public health, including the city of Attleboro. In addition, the fur production process is energy intensive and has a significant environmental impact, including air and water pollution, and animals that are slaughtered for their fur endure tremendous suffering. Eliminating the sale of fur products in the city of Attleboro will decrease the demand for these cruel, environmentally harmful products and promote community health and well-being, as well as animal welfare, and in turn will foster a more humane environment in the city and enhance the reputation of the city.
May I waive the rest of the reading? Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
I just think this is something that could be very important to have in our charter or chapter to make sure that this doesn't happen in the future.
Additional questions or comments on this? Seeing none, this requires a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We will refer that to the ordinances committee. That is all the business in front of the municipal council tonight. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned at 8:06.